Hello everyone. So I'm starting to work on putting this journal together now, and I've got my outside cover here. There's still a lot of bits to finish on the journal, but I will do a lot of that off camera. I just want to get it put together and show you how I'm doing it. I have my signatures all there. I have the cover. I like to make like a hollow spine type of binding. I find that the pages lay better, especially when you've got like 3 signatures. If you've only got a 1 signature journal, it's not really necessary. But when you've got 2 or 3 signatures, it's nice if it lays as flat as possible when you're turning the pages. So to do that, you need to make an internal spine as well and attach it. Now, I don't want to lose the effect of the paper bag. That's the whole purpose of making this journal, out of a paper bag. So what I've done is I've got the scraps of the paper bag that I used. It was a, where is it? I've got it here somewhere. It was a Priceline Pharmacy bag. That's a couple of scraps left. So I've cut a piece off. It wasn't quite long enough, so I patched it together there. And then I've put a bit of fabric to the back of that, and then just a little bit of exercise book for cardboard for a spine, just over 1 inch thick, because that will fit into that spine area there. But this part here will be the paper bag. Now, when I was looking through my laces, I discovered I had some of this beautiful corded lace left. I've got that, and this was attached to it, which is this bit here. So that's, oh, hang on. And I found that little scrap as well. Lucky. I thought I'd used it all. And I thought, so I've cut this piece, and I thought that will go there. Let me just move these over. My space is getting smaller and smaller. So I'm going to put that like that for a pocket on the front inside cover there. And then I've got this lace here, and these are all from Lavish Laces. Which way does that go? I can use it either way, I guess. So I'm going to put it that way. I've already cut them to size, and that leaves me with that 1 inch gap in the center there, which I will put another lace, but running the other way, because when you open up the signatures, there's always a slight gap in between. So it's nice to have something pretty in there if you can, if you remember. But then I realized this looks a bit patchy. For some reason, I don't know whether it's because it's going in an opposite direction or not. You can tell it's patched. So with the rest of the scraps, what I did was cut some squares, and I thought, well, I can put a patch there like that and a little bit like that, just to sort of make it a little bit more as if it belongs like that. And then same sort of thing over here, just put a patch there, and, you know, another patchy sort of thing there. That way, when you've got your signature in, like that, and that's glued down, it looks like it all goes together without just the spine being placed there. So that was my thought anyway. So I can put these bits on now. That's fine. And I'm not going to stitch around them, I don't think. Oh, should I? No. Think. I could stitch around them. That might actually be quite nice. I have to rethread my sewing machine though, because I've had to stitch something else the last couple of days. So let me go do some stitching on those, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've stitched around it, and I'm just gluing them on, and I'm putting glue stick in the center of them, and then I'm putting tacky glue just around the edge of them, like that, and then just putting them where I think they should be, like that. There we go, and I've just placed those there so I kind of get an idea. I stitched around the spine piece as well, and that's what they look like. So that's a, you know, that will help them all come together so it looks cohesive, like that. I can't put the pockets on. The only way I can put the pockets on now is if I put them underneath, like that. But I thought it might be nicer if they were on top, like that, and then have another piece of lace on the spine, which I need to do now before the pages go in. So let's have a look what will fit nicely. Background, but I definitely like that one. I could almost use the same one here, couldn't I? Perhaps that might work. Like that. No, it might be a bit too intense, but I need to stitch this on now, just so it stays in place, because there's already enough glue in between these layers. You end up putting too much glue on, then you can't get your it's hard to get your needle through and things like that. So I might just put a stitch line down either end of it, just so it doesn't move around. I'll be back. Alright, that's done. And that elastic did not want to keep still while I was stitching, so it might be off a little bit, but I think it's fine because you won't really see the edges of it anyway. Well, you will a little bit, but it's not bad at all. Okay, now I'm just thinking there's lots to be finished in here, like tags and things like that need finishing, that needs finishing. But like I've said, I'll do all the finishing touches off screen. Need to put something on that tag, maybe something here. But what I'd like to do is get the signatures. I'd like to get the signatures stitched. There's a mirror in my room and he's never seen himself. He doesn't know who he is. Just a minute. Oh, okay, I turned the mirror around, so he's all right now. Oh my goodness, I'd completely forgotten about that. Okay, so what was I saying? Yes, there's bits and pieces I want to finish up, but I don't need to have the pages not sewn in to do that. Oh. I do need to run a bit of glue under that one though, don't I? That's right. Because that one has that little ridge in there that stops things from wanting to go in. So let's put some glue in there. Like that. Just help it to stay down. Okay. If you do something like that, you need to put a bit of plastic over it, just so it will stop it gluing closed on itself while it dries. Okay, and that will help it to something to slide in. So let's just let that dry. And what I will do when that's dry is I will take all the tags and things out of the journal, the signatures. Check to make sure all the pages are the right way. You don't want pages upside down, and when you're moving things around, it's easy to sort of get them put back in upside down if you're not careful. So just do check on that, and then we will connect our signatures to our spine that we've made here. Okay, so I'll be back once I've done all that and we'll put it together. Alright, so I have taken all the tags out of the signatures. This is the first signature. I've just got a bit of paper there with the number 1 on it, so I know which order these are going to go in. I have one that's number 2 there and one for number 3 as well. All the tags out of each signature I've also placed in paper bags, and with pencil just written 1, 2 and 3 on them, so I know which tags go in which signature. And I do it in pencil, so I can use these bags over and over again, or just use them in journals and things like that. They're just lunch bags, those brown ones. Now I need to work out, I need to put some holes in this piece here to hold my signatures. I know I want 5 holes. It's always the way I do it. Unless it's a really small journal, then I would only do 3. But because it's, you know, it's larger, I will do 5. I've got so many of these, like that's for a large journal. They're just like little templates that I've used before with the holes already in. So what I would do is I would go through and think, okay, that's too big. I've got this one here. That one's too big. If I can't find one, I'll just make a new one. And that looks perfect. And that's the same size. Okay, so I'll just use this. And because we've got 2 the same size, what I can actually do is I'll just take it ever so tiny bit off the end, so it is exactly. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's right. Yep, that's fine. Put a T on it so you know which side is the top of your journal. I've got one on the inside, one on the outside, like that. You would find the center, which is easy enough by folding it in half, or if you have one of these rulers that has the center point on it, then you would find the center by putting it and seeing, okay, we have, it goes 1 to 6 on that side, 1 to 6 on that side, so you just line the numbers up so you know exactly where it is, which would be there. And then you just, like, you don't have to have these exact. They look a little bit different. Like that one is, what is that? 1 7/8, but the next one is 1 5/8. But it works quite well. It's fine. And it would be 1 7/8 on that side and 1 5/8 on that side, and that's okay. I won't see this because this is a hollow spine. You won't see that at all. So all I'm going to do on this, and this might be a bit difficult to see because it's patterned, I would find the center here of this, which, because it's 1 inch, would be 1/2 inch. It's going to be a bit hard to see on that side, isn't it? Okay, let's just find. Hopefully that's the middle there. Let's have a look. Just need mark 1/2 inch. That's all. But because of the pattern, it's a little bit tricky. What can I use? Oh, I know what I can use. Let's see if this works. Okay, a white pen. Let's see if that works. 1/2 inch is there. Oh, yes, that works. Okay, so 1/2 inch is there, so I'm just going to do a line all the way down like that so I can, right, okay, that's the center. Now I want, of course, my holes in the center, but I also want it either side of that, and what I will do is just put that at 1/4 inch. So my 1/4 inch on either side would be there and there, like that. really hard to see actually because of the glare on the shiny surface, because hopefully I can see that, and I might turn it around to do the other side. Okay, that's our measurement. Now I just need to, I can put that away for a moment. And get this. I don't think I have a top. Oh, I was going to put that seam down the bottom, so we'll stick with that. So we'll go to the middle one first. We will line it up like that. Yep, that's right. Okay. And I'm going to mark that. Where's that? I need that back. Oh, is that the same one? I hope so. Okay. That's it. So that's one there. One there. And I'm just copying the markings of the holes onto this, like that. So I know where to put my holes, and I will... couldn't turn that over because you could see it from the other side. Even though it's a couple of layers, you could still see it from the other side. So I had to put it this way, which I didn't realize it would be so difficult to see. There, 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 and it is difficult because of the shine coming off it. There, and about there. Right. And now I'm going to flip that, but I'm also going to flip this, just so that I get them at the correct space, just in case they're off a little bit. I don't want to put my head right straight over it, because then all you'll see is my head, and that wouldn't be very good. 1, 2, I'll have to have a look and make sure they're straight, I think. Okay, let's have a look. I don't think they're incredibly straight. Okay, that one is. So I'm just going to do this. I'm hoping this isn't made it more complicated than it actually is, because it's not that complicated. It's that I can't see properly. That's all. There, that makes it a bit easier. I was a bit off with those last ones. Oh, it's so hard to see with the glare. I think that's right. And I can barely see those at all. Okay, let's have a look. I think that comes down a bit there. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Don't use pattern paper. Keep that out because we still need that. Where's my... I just need to get my awl, and I'm going to do it from this side. I'm going to put a hole where the lines cross over. Make sure your fingers aren't behind where you're going to put the hole. So they're 1/4 inch apart. Like that. Like that. And you're sometimes a bit tricky to see on this side. And if they are too tricky to see, then put a tiny little pencil mark where they are. Okay. Like if I do that, can't really see, but if I just go like that, see how that leaves a little mark? But you won't really see it when you put the signature in. One there and one there. One there. One. Because I've got the lace on there. There. Do we have one at the top? Okay, one there. And I'll just go down and do the second half of it now. Alright, so I've done that, and do be sure you know which is, like I've put a T for the top. That's because I knew this seam was going to be on the bottom half of the spine. Do mark where the top and the bottom of this is as well. Okay, now that we've got that done, we need to get our first signature. Pop it in here, and this is the way I do it. If you don't have something like this, which is a book cradle, use an old book, and you can use like, have I got one? Okay, I've got an old book here. It's really old. You can get an old book or something and use like, just put it in the center of the old book and use that to hold it in place while you put the holes in, so it doesn't damage your desk or anything like that. This is a like I said, a book cradle. I got this from Witchcraft Do You Do. Now, if all your pages were the same length, you would butt it up against the top here, but because mine aren't the same length, I can basically put it anywhere. But I don't want this cross section here. I really don't want that right in the center of here, because otherwise I won't be able to stick my awl. So I put it slightly off center, hopefully. And what I do is I sit here and I go through and think, okay, that's what I want that to look like. I can jig it all around a little bit to get the effect that I want, and then I place that one. I know the heavier pages are my longest pages, so I can center everything or move everything around according to my longest page as to how I want it to look. So I move them up and down. I don't want them all centered. I like some going up, some going down. So just as long as they don't sort of go over the longest page. The only one that will be the paper bag, because I know that's slightly longer, and that's okay. And there's my center page, and I'll center that. Okay, now that I've got that in the order I want it, I use these large paper clips here, and I just hold it. Oh, of course you're going to tangle when I need you. I just put it on and hold it, making sure you're getting all the pages. You can put them anywhere you like, and that just holds them all where I've placed them. It looks pretty good. And then you get your little template for your holes, and you put that there, and I line that up. Now this is going to be slightly longer than my longest pages, and that's because it goes by the cover. So I'm just going to line it up as best I can. That's the paper bag, so I'll line it up with that paper bag, I think, like that, and hopefully that's fine. And then you just go where your markings are. Mine has holes already because I've used it before. Making sure your top is at the top of the page, your T is at the top of the page. and then just going through gently. Oh, I can't see. I usually above it. There we go. Okay, so that's our first signature marked. And there's the holes on the other side as well. And then I can put that to the side. I can grab the second signature and do exactly the same sort of thing. Get myself another couple of paper clips. Do exactly the same thing for the second and the third signature. So that's done. So now I've got my waxed thread. You can use whatever thread you want. This is, I don't know the size of it. Looks like that. Okay. Sometimes I use a thinner thread, but this is the color I want. So I usually measure just 3 and a bit, the size of the pages. So that's 3, and then I'll take another little bit just in case. And because I'm doing 3 signatures, I'll measure them like this. I'll just take 3, the same length. I will have some left over, but that's okay because they're great for using in buttons and things like that. You know, they never really go to waste. They're great with buttons because you don't have to thread up a needle. You can thread the wax thread straight through the needle without having to worry. Straight through the button, sorry. Let me show you. Here's a button. See, you can just get it straight through. You don't need a needle to do it. Okay, so now I get a long needle. Got this one here. Usually doll needles, the smaller doll needles are great. Just flatten the end of your waxed thread and thread your needle. Okay. We'll start with number 1 perhaps. So they're all here. I'll get my, oh here it is here. I'll get my little spine, and this is to do a hollow spine, and I want to line that up with those holes there. That's what we're going to do, and I'm going to start my thread making sure I've got it the right way around. There's the T. I'm going to start from the wrong side. So there's my top there. I'm starting on number 1, line number 1, and I'm bringing this through like that, making sure this is the correct way up. Now I'm going to open my signature, and I'm going to try and get it on the same angle that I put the holes in so that it will go straight through. It doesn't always go through, but it does sometimes, which is really, really nice. Okay, I'm going to pull that through to there, and then I'm going to go through the second hole here, and I'm going to line my spine up with that hole. And have it come through. Come on. Like that. Okay. So that's the inside looking like that. And then I'm going to come through the top hole here on the spine and take it back through the top hole on my signature. There we go. So we're just going in, out, like that. And then, now that we're at the top, we're going to come back down. It's like doing a figure 8, like that. So we're going to take it back down to that, through that one, back down through the second one again. Probably best not to split your thread if you can. That can sort of cause it to be hard to pull through. Okay, so I've come back through here, but now I'm going to skip the middle one, and I'm going to go straight over. So we're out here, this one here, skipping the middle one, And we're coming back through this one here, and the same on the signature. Coming back through the hole on the signature, see? So we skip that one, coming back this way, pull your thread through, coming through the bottom one now, and the bottom one on our spine, like that. And then like we did at the top, we're going to come back through that second one. It is fiddly, but it's doable, and the more you do it, you know, hopefully you get a bit better at it. And then back through the center one, like that, and back through the center one, trying not to split your thread as you come through. And if they come through, if both threads are on the same side of this piece here, just scoot it under like that, so that when you tie it off, you're going to enclose that. So you've got a thread here and a thread here, but this one here in the middle is loose because we skipped that on the way back. So we're going to tie it down basically. But before you tie it down, you're just going to make sure your threads are tight enough. See how there's a bit of give in that? I want them to be a little bit tighter than that. So I'm just going to tighten things up a bit like that. And like that, and then we'll check. Like, I don't want them ripping the pages, but I don't want them flopping around either. Okay, and then we tie a couple of knots. Wax thread is great because it sort of melts together over time, so it won't come undone. So a couple of knots is all you need, and then cut it off. And like I said, these pieces you can use for buttons and things like that. So that's how we do it. That is our first signature. Always make sure you're keeping in line. And see, you can't see those little pencil dots that I put on there. And you're going to do exactly the same thing for the second signature and the third signature. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back. So I've just finished sewing the third signature in, and these are my long threads. A lot of people like to have their threads coming out in the center of their signature, and that looks very lovely. I find these threads are a little bit thick for that, so I don't tend to do that when I've got thicker threads. But if you want to do that, instead of starting off that way, when you start off on the inside. That way you're left with the threads on the inside, and you can make it decorative that way. Sorry, I forgot to mention that before. So let me just cut these now, and we will have a look. So there's our 3 signatures in. Now, I'm not going to take my paper clips out yet because they do hold things nicely for when I want to put this into my cover like that. I haven't done one with short flaps for quite some time, so I've just got to make sure I get it nice and centered, I think. And we don't put glue in the center part, we put glue under these parts here. So before I do that, I just see how that flaps up a bit. I don't want that happening, so I'm going to put some glue under that fabric to hold that down and let that dry completely, because that was only glue stick down before. So I'm going to put some nice strong glue on that so that it holds everything in place like that. Like that. I might just put a little bit here as well under this little part that pops up, and I will do the same on the other side. Perhaps should have made sure they're all glued together properly at the beginning, but like I said, I haven't done it this short for such a long time. I usually do them full size, but it's okay. It all gets done in the end. There we go, nice and generous with a nice strong glue. It's not going to come undone. So I'm just going to let that dry. A little bit, making sure we know which side goes to the front of our journal. And this, just trying to think, see, if I want to stitch a lace down here, this is when I should be doing it before I put it all together, otherwise I won't be able to stitch it. So what was I going to put there? Or I can just glue it at the end. Can't remember what I was going to put there. I'm going to have to find a lace to put down the center. Okay, so I used that one. I think I showed you that one before. I like the way the paper shows through it. I glued it on though. I may or may not have put it upside down, but I don't think it matters. So now I need to glue this into place, which will be like that. Like that, so making sure it's the right way up, of course. So what I'm going to do is put glue here now that that has dried properly. Hopefully remember how to do this properly. Plenty of glue. Nice strong glue. Getting it close to the edge but not right on the edge, because it does tend to ooze out a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can get this nice and straight. Put that there. Like that. I might just use a couple of these. To hold it into place for a moment. And one on the other end. There. Just make sure we're getting it in there right. That looks about right, doesn't it? I will come and put a bit of paper glue down there if that tends to pop up a bit. It should be alright because the glue tends to ooze, like I said, so we'll see what it looks like. Then flip it around the other way and put the glue on here now. Hopefully it all works out nice and straight. We don't put glue in the middle there. And that's why I put fabric in, because the fabric helps to strengthen everything when you're using paper. Okay, let's have a look. It seems a bit crooked. There we go. We've scooted it over a bit. Scooted it over a bit. It's a little bit crooked on this side down here. But that's okay. The pocket will be going there, so we won't see that. I think that's better, isn't it? seems to be all right. Okay, there, like that. One here, like that. And back on this side. Like that. Right. That. Okay, I think it's done. Okay, I'm going to let that dry now. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll be able to take all the paper clips off. And oh, first before I do that, I will be placing my pocket on. I may be able to put a stitch in that on the sewing machine. I'll just have to wait and see. So I'll be putting one on the front and one on the back. But I want that glue to dry before I do anything else. So the next video will be a flip through. I'll finish everything and then we'll do a flip through and an explanation of the finished journal. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this little series. It's been fun making this, and I really like the way it's all turning out now. So take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.